Hi everybody, this is Patty Minch, and I'm going to be sharing some resources that have helped to develop my STEM identity. The first is a book called Beyond Control by James Barnett Jr. Barnett writes about the geological, political, and engineering history behind the Atchafalaya River and the struggle to keep the Mississippi River on its course. In his book, he discusses the significance of the Mississippi River changing its flow to the Atchafalaya and the incredible impact that that would have on the country in towns like New Orleans and Morgan City. I've always been interested in this, and it started to develop my curiosity and questions behind the interactions between humans and nature and the impact that humans have had on nature, and vice versa, the impact that nature has had on how humans live. So I would definitely recommend this book to you. It's really well written, and the topic in and of itself has always been interesting to me, just to think about what would happen if the Mississippi River no longer flowed along its normal course as we know it, and instead went down the Atchafalaya River, and how that would change New Orleans and the New Orleans or the Louisiana Delta. The next resource is the movie October Sky, and I think a lot of you guys had this as a resource as well. In this movie, there's a student named Homer, and Homer lives in West Virginia, and he is a coal miner's son. And he, in the beginning of the movie, sees Sputnik shoot across the sky, and he immediately piques his interest into the space race and building rockets and things like this. His dad doesn't approve because he's supposed to be a coal miner just like his father is. However, with the help of some of his friends and his teacher, he develops and builds rockets and shoots them off and competes in the school-wide and eventually the statewide science fair. Especially as a teacher, I would recommend this movie just to see how his teacher kind of cultivates his interest and fosters his own interest in rocketry and helped to develop my own STEM identity. I remember watching this movie and just thinking how cool it was that he decided to do all these experiments on his own, and my brother and my father and I actually went out and started building model rockets. I think one is still on the roof of a nearby church. We never ended up finding it, but I'll definitely recommend this movie to you just to see how the students and teacher interact, and how he develops perseverance through all of the people who doubt him and think that he shouldn't be doing this. Another resource would be Podcast by Science Friday. Science Friday is on every Friday, obviously. I listen to it on NPR or WITF. You can also listen to them online. The episode that I picked specifically aired in February of this year, and it examines how China is starting to move from coal burning to cleaner energies, especially as their society becomes more dependent on cars. How are they going to make changes and adapt their lifestyle to a healthier, cleaner energy? I would recommend this to you guys. Just because Science Friday in general, because it gives a lot of insights and understanding into the different fields of science. Every week it's a different field, anywhere from biology to psychology to education in science. And so it's always been interesting to hear how different problems are solved through science, and the vast umbrella that science covers as far as problem solving and things like that. It's definitely shaped my STEM identity by broadening my own understanding of the vast spread of topics that are solved under science and engineering. Lastly, for me, the places that shaped my STEM identity, early on, going hiking and camping and kayaking all over the place. Anytime I could. I did a trip out to Yosemite National Park in California, and I did some trips abroad. And all I really wanted to do was be outside and hike and try to understand how nature worked and how rivers worked and things like that. So that hands-on experience really got me started. And again, like I said before, developing an understanding of the impact of nature and on humans. And as far as local resources, the first one that came to mind is Lowe's. It's my favorite place to go when it comes to engineering solutions. I love going in with a project in mind and thinking up all the different ways to try to solve that, whether it's building something or solving a problem at the house. Another local one is the Lancaster Conservancy, and they do have a home base, but a lot of their work is done out in the field. Really what they do is they try to preserve as much land in Lancaster as they can. They also have a lot of projects with urban green spaces. So I would recommend you guys check this out because they do offer a lot of like master's classes, but they also offer a lot of volunteer opportunities where you can go and help them either cleaning up trails or developing green spaces. And these guys have really helped to cultivate my STEM identity by putting a lot of practice or theory into practice, especially when it comes to building green spaces downtown and providing gardens for refugee families or students or anything like that, which has been a big mission of the school district of Lancaster where I work. So there you have it. Those are my resources that have cultivated my STEM identity. I'll put links to all the websites and videos and stuff that I reviewed as well. Thanks, guys.